Welcome back to NT Coins World, the channel where hidden treasures in your pocket change come to life. Are you ready to discover the next Roosevelt dime gems? That could be sitting quietly in your collection, gaining value every single year. Buckle up, collectors, because today we're diving deep into two of the most intriguing Roosevelt dimes that every serious collector should know about. These aren't just 10-cent pieces. They're stories in silver and copper nickel pieces of American history waiting to be rediscovered. We're talking about the 1974D Roosevelt dime and the 1993D Roosevelt dime, both in fine condition and both packed with collector excitement, design intrigue, and potential market value that could surprise you. Stick around till the end, because you might just find out that a dime in your change jar is worth far more than face value. The 1974D Roosevelt dime represents a fascinating chapter in the evolution of American coinage. By the mid-1970s, the U.S. Mint was fully entrenched in the copper-nickel-clad era, having moved away from silver nearly a decade prior. The Denver Mint struck over 568 million Roosevelt dimes in 1974, each bearing the signature D mint mark that marks its origin. This dime emerged during a time of inflation, economic transition, and growing coin collecting interest. With its straightforward composition and enduring design, the 1974D dime became a staple of everyday transactions while quietly gaining a foothold among modern U.S. coin enthusiasts. The obverse of the 1974D dime showcases the dignified profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John Arsenic, chief engraver of the United States Mint. The portrait captures Roosevelt's strength and poise, a tribute to the president who led America through the Great Depression and most of World War II. Inscribed along the rim are the words "Liberty." To the left and below Roosevelt's chin, the motto "In God We Trust." The year 1974 sits just beneath his neckline, while the small D mint mark is tucked to the right, marking its Denver origin. Flipping over to the reverse, we see the iconic design that remains one of the most stable in modern U.S. coinage. A torch in the center, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch signifies strength and independence. The words "United States of America" curve around the top edge, while one dime is boldly displayed below. Sandwiched between the torch and denomination lies the ever-reliable motto, "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. As for the mintage, the 1974D Roosevelt dime had a total mintage of approximately 568,760,000 coins, a robust number that might suggest commonality. But collectors know that condition and era varieties are what separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. In circulated fine condition, these coins are relatively common, but when found in high grades such as MS65 or higher, they can command respectable prices from the right buyer. For example, an MS65197D Roosevelt dime can fetch up to $10 to $15, and values increase significantly in MS66 or MS67, potentially reaching $150 to $300 at auction. Where the 1974D dime gets even more interesting is in its era landscape. Collectors have reported a number of valuable die varieties and minting anomalies for this issue. These include die cracks, die chips often around Roosevelt's ear or the torch flames, and occasional off-center strikes or misaligned dies. One particularly desirable variant is the clipped blanket error, where a small crescent-shaped piece of the coin is missing due to a faulty blanking process. These errors in fine or higher condition can push a normally common dime into a far more valuable territory, ranging from $50 to several $100. Depending on rarity and grade. Another sought-after trait is full torch bands on the reverse design. These are well-defined horizontal lines on the torch's bands and are a mark of strong striking and excellent preservation, while rare in coins from circulation. Examples showing full torch details can achieve higher premiums, even in lower mint state grades. Despite its high mintage, the 1974D dime holds significant collector interest, particularly among those building Day 10 mint mark sets or specialized Roosevelt dime collections. The decade of the 1970s is an underappreciated era for Roosevelt dimes, meaning collectors are now turning their attention to coins like the 1974D in hopes of uncovering scarce varieties or grading rarities. Since the U.S. Mint did not issue mint sets in 1982 and 1983, interest in adjacent years like 1974 has increased as collectors seek well-preserved examples. Today, The 197 Roosevelt dime is often found in pocket change, but its real value lies in the details. From errors and die varieties to strong strike characteristics. For those who enjoy the thrill of the hunt, this coin provides a compelling opportunity to own a piece of mid-century American coinage that is still flying under the radar. Whether you're searching through rolls, buying from dealers, or examining your own collection, don't overlook the humble 197 dime. You might be holding a future gem in your hands. Fast forwarding nearly 2 decades, we arrive at the 1993 Roosevelt dime. Another essential modern piece for every coin collector's radar, struck at the Denver Mint. The 1993 dime reflects the high-precision standards of modern minting, but still carries its own share of surprises and collectible potential. With a mintage of over 838 million coins, this dime may appear to be common. But as every serious collector knows, it's all about condition, strike quality, and the possibility of rare errors. The 1993 Roosevelt dime was minted during a time of economic growth, technological advancement, and increasing public interest in coin collecting, particularly due to the U.S. Mint's build-up toward the 50-state quarters program. This period saw better production technology, tighter tolerances, and generally higher quality strikes, but that doesn't mean every coin is perfect. In fact, it's those imperfections that drive interest today. The obverse of the 1993 dime continues the legacy of John Arsenic's original design, still featuring the left-facing bust of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The inscriptions remain consistent. Liberty is displayed prominently on the left side of Roosevelt's profile. In God We Trust sits near the neckline, and the year 1993 is stamped directly beneath. The small D mint mark, denoting the Denver Mint, is located just above the date, clearly defining its place of origin. On the reverse, we again find the torch-centered trio, the torch of freedom flanked by the olive and oak branches. The layout is sharp and clean, representing peace, strength, and liberty, the values Roosevelt championed. The inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and one dime are all present, encircling the design in a layout that has stood the test of time. Despite its massive mintage of over 838,740,000 coins, finding a truly well-struck 1993 dime in pristine condition can be a rewarding challenge. In circulated fine condition, this coin is worth its face value, 10 cents, but it's the mint state examples that attract collectors. An MS-65 version might be worth $5 to $10, while coins grading MS-67 or above can bring $100 or more, depending on demand and strike quality. Proof-like surfaces, especially with sharp full torch bands, may carry premiums in competitive collecting circles. The real intrigue comes when error coins enter the mix. The 1993 Roosevelt dime has been found with notable errors including broad strikes, off-center strikes, die clashes, and even double dies, though the latter is quite rare. A broad-struck dime without a rim can command values between $25 and $100, depending on severity and eye appeal. Off-center strikes ranging from 10% to 50% can be worth $40 to $150. If the date remains visible, collectors with an eye for unusual planked or die anomalies might find their ordinary 1993 dime turns into an extraordinary numismatic specimen, beyond errors. One of the most appreciated varieties includes examples with full torch bands, often referred to as FB or FT in grading designations. Full bands require clear definition of the upper and lower horizontal lines on the torch, which are frequently weakly struck or lost in circulation. A 1993 Roosevelt dime with full torch bands in MS-66 or MS-67 is a notable find and could command $75 to $250, depending on certification and eye appeal. From a collector's standpoint, the 1993 Roosevelt dime offers a strong entry point into modern coin collecting. Its availability in uncirculated rolls, sets, and even circulation gives collectors ample opportunities to hunt for high-grade examples. Moreover, its position as a pre-state quarters era coin places it in a transitional period. Modern, but not overly mass-produced for commemorative reasons, the demand for high-grade examples continues to grow, especially as more collectors build complete Roosevelt dime sets that span decades. Completing a set in MS-66 or better requires attention to coins like the 1993 pieces that may appear plentiful but are increasingly difficult to find in top condition due to weak strikes, contact marks, and circulation wear. So whether you're a casual hobbyist or a seasoned numismatist, The 1993D Roosevelt dime holds a compelling place in your collection. It offers accessibility, hidden value, and the potential for surprise. All qualities that make the hunt worthwhile. Don't underestimate the dimes of the 1990s. They're gaining attention, growing in demand, and might just be the hidden star in your coin folder or storage box. Thank you for joining us today on NT Coins World. If you found today's deep dive into the 1974D and 1993D Roosevelt dimes exciting, informative, or even just a little bit surprising, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a single discovery. We've got more amazing coin stories, hidden rarities, and value-packed episodes coming your way. Until next time, keep checking your change and keep collecting, because you never know when a 10-cent treasure will change your fortune.